It all started one cold evening about 5 years ago. When we went to bed that night, everything was fine. We were barely able to survive, but we were making it and we had jobs. Little did we know what was coming the next day, a surprise that would change our lives. At 4 a.m., the bell sounded just like any other morning. I really didn't want to get up. I was still tired from the day before. It's tough being a kid working in a factory, but like usual, I always managed to get up anyways, no matter how tired I am. "Eliza, are you ready for work?" asked Mom in the dark. "Almost. I can't find my shoes because it's so dark," I replied. "Okay, hurry." Oh, why can't I find those stupid shoes? Where did they go? Geez, I can't believe it. Not here. "Eliza, I found your shoes," said Tommy. "Where are they, Tommy?" I asked my little brother. "On my feet." "Why are you wearing my shoes? Where are yours?" "I just found mine after I put on yours. Here are your shoes." "Thank you." Now that we are ready for work, we head drearily but hurriedly down to the factory. It's really dark and quiet in the mornings. No one feels like talking this early as we head off to work. I just can't wait until we head home. Unfortunately, we have a long, hard day of dangerous work ahead of us. Oh, to be able to live a different life. I'm always dreaming of a life of plenty and going to school in time to do whatever I want. Oh, doesn't it sound wonderful? As I arrive at the factory, we all head to our own workplaces. I work at the spinning mill next door with my mom, while my brother and dad work at the sawmill next to us. We see each other every morning before work, and after work is done, we meet together for the long, cold walk home. We eat our meager breakfast earlier, but I'm longing for lunch when we hear a scream coming from a couple rows down. I hurriedly get up to look who has screamed in pain. The mothers worked down a couple rows. When I stand up, I see that it is my mother screaming and tears running down her face. As I run over there, she is crying really hard, and some mothers try to stop me from reaching her, but I push through and make it to her at the same time as the factory doctor. She has a couple fingers removed. The factory owner fires her. I wonder what we will do now. Mother has bills and can't work for a while. But more importantly, how will she ever work again? Those questions continue to worry me. While her fingers heal, my dad, Tommy, and me are still fortunate enough to keep our jobs. When her fingers finally heal, she looks for a new job. Mom looks for open jobs but has no luck. Since it is time when factory owners treated people like machines and the conditions in the factories were dangerous, our despair becomes overwhelming because we aren't sure how we will continue to manage to survive without Mom's help to make money. What will become of us?
Life was hard growing up as a slave. Every day was the same. Early to rise, work all day, late to bed. Some days had a little more, like punishment for those who didn't do what was asked of them, but no more than that. I started as a slave when I was just a little child, and my parents were sold to a plantation in Georgia. Now I'm 14 and wishing for a different life. Most days started like this. Ding! Went the morning bell. "Isa, Marie, get up before they get here." I slowly worked my way out of the small area I called my bed. I grabbed my shoes, or what were supposed to be my shoes, but were pretty much just a strip of leather, and headed to the cold outdoors. It was still dark outside, and I could barely see anything. We all had to collect a certain amount of cotton each day. About 2 sacks for the younger kids, 5 for us middle-aged kids, and 7 for the adults. I usually collected about 6. If we didn't collect it, then we couldn't process it, and if we didn't turn in the processed cotton, then we didn't get our meals. Even though the day had started the same, it was a better day than most. Maria, come quick," my little sister Isaac called to me. "What is it?" I grabbed the sack of cotton I had been filling and ran as fast as I could to her. "They invented this new machine called the cotton gin." "Cotton gin?" She nodded. "Well, what is it?" "It processes cotton for us so we don't have to do so much work." "Really?" This was almost like a dream come true. We'd all agreed that cleaning the cotton was the hardest part of the day. "Where did you hear this?" "It was in the daily paper, and Mister says we are getting some. They can do what 50 people can do by hand. Come, I'll show you." I followed her into the barn. There was already a large group of men and women gathered there. "Isa, I would love to see it, but this is only my 3rd sack of cotton, and it's already almost noon." "Okay, then I will show you later." She smiled excitedly and ran off. I worked my way back to the field and finished picking cotton. Before I knew it, I was back in bed, and the morning bell was going off once again. But today was different. Today we used the cotton gin, the brand new cotton gin. The brand new cotton gin that could do the work of 50 men.
And sold, the auctioneer said. That was it. Sarah, Maria, and Jenna's parents were gone, and and they didn't think they would ever see them again. Now it was their turn to be sold. Going once, going twice, and sold. This way an officer grabbed each one of the girls and dragged them toward their new owners. Jenna glanced toward Sarah, the youngest of the three. She could see tears streaming down her face. She was sure her own eyes were red and watery.
They arrived at a fairly good-sized house with a large cotton field a ways back. They could see slaves working in the fields and instantly knew this place wasn't going to be any better than the last plantation. Get to work. They were shoved through a barn door. Inside the barn was a sawing mill. Now, come this way, children. The three girls followed another way into a smaller room. My name is Annie. You can come to me if you need anything, but for now, get some sleep. You'll start work tomorrow. She exited the room. Good night.
Jenna.
What?
I don't like it here. Me neither, Mia agreed. Jenna, are we ever going to see Mommy and Daddy again?
I really hope so, Sarah. I really hope so.
Let's leave.
What?
Let's run away. Do you think we could, Jenna?
Well, it's worth a shot.
Okay. One night after everyone's asleep?
Okay, it's a plan. Now get some sleep. We're going to need it. The next few days were full of work, picking cotton, helping clean the cotton, helping sew, and more. By the end of the day, the girls' hands and feet were covered in blisters. That night, they were putting their plan into action. They would slip out through the barn door and go through the tall grass to the hole in the fence. The hole was small but big enough that they could just slip through. After everyone was asleep, they slipped out the door and crawled through the grass. Almost there, they whispered.
Suddenly they heard some noise. They stopped immediately and listened. They couldn't believe they had taken such extra care and had been discovered. Shaking and trembling, the girls knelt perfectly still, wondering how long until a rough hand grabbed them and administered their punishment, but nothing happened. They waited and waited, yet nothing seemed to happen. All of a sudden, a kitty came creeping up and purred at their feet. Oh, what a relief. Being even more careful, the girls slowly and meticulously managed to escape the restrictive chains of slavery. They walked through the rough woods and crossed the streams under the cover of darkness, and they slept during the day. After countless days, the girls came upon a sign at the side of the road. It announced the next town was Philadelphia. They had heard about freedom there. They leaped for joy at their good fortune and set out a rapid pace to begin in the new journey of their life.